Hey, this is Matt Allison, and as several of you know, that I did spend 9 days in the hospital this August, just 2 months ago, but that's too fresh, too new. I'm still like adjusting my meds, so I'm not going to talk about that. But this one, yeah, I haven't done this for a while, but I did find it helpful and fun, and it's going to be on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, just because Instagram and Facebook are good for views, but to find stuff, it's easier to find it on Instagram after a couple of months passes. So basically, just some background information. From August to December 2016, I was on FMLA from work. I had schizoaffective episode. I was in the hospital for 12 days in September 2016, and then 9 days in October 16. So what I'm going to talk about is right in between those two things to the hospital. When I came back from the first one, I was still manic. I was still not well. But I was able to get my treatment in Ohio, instead of New York. And my parents helped out a lot through that whole time. But yeah, it was like, I look online, I know the exact days, like September 27th or 28th of 2016, because it was the Bowling Green University homecoming. A few days before that, I kind of ran away from home, and I did not have Uber. So if I had Uber, that whole time would have been much different. But I kind of ran away from my parents, and I went to the convenience store in Rossford, and I called a cab, which took like a half-hour thing, and then I got a cell phone because my cell phone was lost, or somehow I didn't have it, so I had a cell phone, so I didn't have access to Facebook or anything. I created new accounts, so during this time, like, I created a new Facebook account, and I videoed like stuff this whole time, but no one saw it because it wasn't my regular account. But yeah, so I kind of I got the phone, and then I went to a hotel in Perrysburg and checked in there, and then I took a cab to the Bowling Green skate park, and I skated. I remember just being hyper. I remember usually I kind of skate slow and kind of try flip tricks, but I just kind of cruised on. I think I cut some skaters off or just said some weird things. And then after that, I kind of walked around. It was like this, I don't know if it was like a pumpkin patch thing, or a lot of people were on this field. I remember walking up to this couple, and the guy almost threatening stepped towards me. So I just ran off, and then I ended up in a bar, Howard, I think it's called Howard's or something, but I ended up just being there and doing weird things. They had free popcorn, so I put popcorn in my drink, and I would get like a Coke with the Jaeger in it, which is not like a normal mixed drink. Coca-Cola and Jaeger it's not a normal mixed drink. It's just, people don't really do that. But I remember just saying weird. I remember filming thing, and I thought it was Facebook Live, but of course no one was on my new Facebook. And I just walking around, and I sat next to a table with these older people in their 50s, and one of them left. He's like, sometimes you have to wear shades, so he probably knew I was going through something. But and I saw a skater, and I tried to talk to him, but he seemed kind of distant. But anyways, I started smoking again too, cigarettes. I got cigarettes from a store and started chain smoking, and eventually I don't know if they kicked it out, I have a private for, but eventually I tried to go back in from a cigarette break, and they wouldn't let me. I could hear music in there, and I saw they didn't let other people in there too. And so I remember just trying to talk my way in. That didn't work. And then I went to the Circle K, and they had some type of car show. There's a lot of people with all these fancy cars, and it looked like some type of meeting of car people, and And, so that was interesting. I think someone had like a fancy Jeep, and I tried to I just started dancing in front of it. I think I tried to kiss the hood, just kind of being weird. And this one, you want to kiss my hood of my trunk? And so I just kind of went away. Then I went to a Taco Bell and I got this huge bag of food and a soda. Then I went back there because I could see it still going on. And this circle of college guys, or I don't know, they're in a circle rapping to each other. I haven't seen anything like that, so I just put the bag of my Taco Bell in the middle, and then I went away. And then when I came back, it was gone. And then I'm just kind of walking around the city. I remember going to the precinct and asking for a ride to my hotel, because during that time, police would give me a ride back to my parents' house or stuff like that. So there's a lot of that stuff going on anyway. So I wasn't afraid to try to, get a ride back from a cop. I guess they could have arrested me too, but I didn't think of that. But anyways, I waited there for a while, and then it seemed like it wasn't happening. So I walked out, and I remember just throwing my lighter on the ground to see if it would pop. Because I guess anyone knows that if you throw a lighter hard enough on the ground, it does pop and explode a little bit. But I'm just walking around, and then I think some of my cards. When they locked the doors of Howard's, I'd had my skateboard and my backpack, and I think I had one card in there, but I still had my wallet. So I tried to get money from it, and the machine just ate them all. So I had no credit. And then I remember it got light out, and it was a bright sunny morning. And I remember just going to this bagel shop or something that was open already for coffee, and within seconds of me saying something, they just told me to leave. And then I went to Circle K again, and then I said something really inappropriate, and then they just told me they're calling the cops. But anyway, I just remember eventually I just sitting on a curb with my hands in my face. It's and then a police officer saw me, and then after a few minutes, he did drive me back to the hotel I was staying at. And he parked a little bit off, and he said, just walk up. And I remember saying my cell phone, I remember right there, if my cell phone dies, it just turns off, right? He's like, of course, what else would it do? And I remember the hotel, the La Quinta, it had a big bus of people, and they're college athletes there. And I asked what athletes they were, and they said track and field. They said tennis. They said something. It's oh, they're not football players, so they're not important. And then my parents were there, so they somehow contacted my parents, and we went to the room I was staying in, and the doors open. I left clothes on the floor, so I don't think anything was taken, but they did look through it before I got there. And then they drove me home, and I slept all day, and then probably maybe within a week, they kind of sneaked me into the hospital. Because I was non-compliant with going to the hospital, so my parents kind of, my whole family kind of, worked together to get me into that, to sign off on it. And I did the first time. It's a half hour to 45-minute interview before I signed off on it. And this one, they went to a different clinic, so I didn't recognize it, and then I signed off, and then, so now I'm thankful, but I guess back then I was really mad. But think about that night in Bowling Green. I just can't imagine what homeless people that are mentally ill, they do that nightly, weekly, it just, I don't think anyone would really want to do that even one night. So I just can't imagine. I feel sorry for people that, resist help or can't get help and have to live like that regularly, because it's just, it was no fun, frustrating, confusing. And so I hope to never, now that I've been back from this year, I hope to never be in that state again. So I just need to this is not all, basically don't do weed, don't drink. That's not all of it. I notice every time I've had sickness, there's been a lot of additional stress factors. But, for me, it's just I can't drink or toke anymore. I'm okay with that. some people medicate that way. That's fine, but I just, my goal in life now is to never get back to that. All right, thanks for listening.